In this video we're going to render a SketchUp scene which I found on the internet with using it Brighter 3D. It's a rendering plugin that you can download from the SketchUp warehouse. When you install it, you get this bar with 6 icons, and we'll quickly go through each one. The first one is the render, so you click it and it starts to render. There's quite a few settings hidden here if you have to hover over to see these, but this is for HDR maps and the background. This is the exposure, and here you can change frame or animation settings, but you have to stop and start it to access that. This is the scene which we haven't adjusted it, it's just downloaded. I think the only thing I did in this scene was put the texture on the curtain, and that's it. So let's drop this window down. I'm just closing it. I'm not actually, it's just putting it down to the bottom when you press that X. The next setting is, you've got 4 tabs in these settings. The first one is you choose what type of rendering you want. There's 3 different types there. I'm going to use unbiased. This is your PCU threads. This is only 16 thread. I've got a 64 at work, so it's miles faster than this one. This is very slow actually on this PC because it's not very high performance PC. This is the image size I'm going to render, so I'm just going to go with this full high definition. And here you've got some options for the HDR map. I'm not going to focus on those. Here I can install a HDR map. I'm not doing that today. I'm not using artificial lighting. I'm just going to use the sunlight to set the scene. And at the bottom here you can store your settings. Here there's some additional settings. You can adjust the sun or the background, and here it's for if you're doing animation or just rendering a whole lot of scenes, just still images. So you can set up like 50 different images and render the whole lot and set the iterations for each one. So I'm not using that today, but that's there available. So let's look at the render. So starting to render there. Because I changed some settings, it's restarting. But in the meantime, we're going to spruce up this scene here and try and make it look nice. And this is what we're getting just after 23 seconds of rendering. We get an image like this. And notice that there's no grain. There's quite a lot of things wrong with this scene to begin with. There's no wall color. It looks like some kind of hexagon wall that needs to change. The colors look awful. It doesn't look real. I think I rendered, as I say, the curtain. I put the texture into the curtain and I tweaked the glass. I was just messing with that. But other than that, nothing else is touched. So let's get to rendering. So first of all, I'm going to set the exposure because it's overexposed here. So I'm just going to drag here and tone it down just so that comes down. It's not too bright here. That's the first thing. The next thing is look at each thing here. So we're going to work on the spoons and forks, and I've just selected the material picker from here. That's what these two are for. One's a material picker and one's to go back in and see the settings. So let's zoom in here on these. In this preview window, it's real-time rendering. So as I change it, you'll see it get changed in here. So let's do that. So this is just black, so I'm going to add a bit of reflectance to it. And right away, you see you've got metal here. Now, sometimes these are switched off, so if I switch them on, you get some metal look there. Now you can change the tone of these by changing the color here. I'll just show you. You can make them look more darker, colder cutlery, but I'm going to make them a bit chromy, so I'm going to bring them down to about here. And you can adjust stuff here as well to get more shinier. But anyway, I'm going to go with 150. And now you say, well, how do you know what settings to set? Well, you don't. You just look at the image and you can go from one extreme to the other and see what you get. And then you start to learn to think, oh, well, that needs to be somewhere around here. So you just know by looking at it that it looks real. And as you can see, this looks pretty real here at the moment. Now, if the spoon is too shiny and you want to dull it down a bit, you can rough it up. See, if you rough it up, it blurs the surface, so you don't get the reflection as much. So, but I'm going to keep it pretty shiny. I'm going to keep it shiny, so click apply. Right, the next thing we're going to do is change the base of the table. It looks black. I want it to be something light, like something like that there, perhaps. I will match the kitchen doors to suit. Let's make it a bit glossy, so I'm going to make the base a bit satin gloss. So just turn up the reflectance. And now you get a nice bit of a sheen there. So I'm going to click apply. And there's two different options here. There's diffuse and diffuse fong. And I'm going to use diffuse fong because it adds a bit of depth, a bit of tone around the edges, the depths, the contours. So I'm going to use that. That's changed. Now I'm going to work on the granite worktop. It's very flat. I want to add a bit of gloss to it, so add a bit of reflectance to it. Oops, that might be too much. Back off a bit. Something like that. And you already see it's starting to take shape. So we'll apply that. And let's have a look at this kettle. Oh, the kettle looks okay. Well, actually it doesn't. It looks a bit grey, so let's increase the reflectance and turn down the diffuse. This looks better. Bit too shiny. I want to dull it down a bit. And you see it's got a grey undertone. See, if I bring this down, and now it's not as grey. If I come right down, you see it gets kind of a very cold stainless steel, but I want to make it a bit more aluminum. I think I'm going to go with that there. I think it needs to be about 150. So let's apply that. And I want to change the colour of the doors. This looks awful, so let's go down and make them kind of cream like that. And click apply. And let's see if I can change the wall. Not sure what's going on with this wall. Did I pick the wall? That's right, let's zoom out here. This is the wall here. You can brighten up or darken it down. The diffuse is much light it radiates or absorbs. So let's go with that. And I'll take out the colour. Just leave it kind of grey wall. That'll do me. let's have a look at that. And what else are we doing here? We will work on this vase here. As you can see, the vase is, I want to make it glass, so let's go and add a bit of transparency. It looks great to me. I'm going to go with that, maybe add a bit more. That looks pretty good to me. What else can I do? This background here, see the tiles are very flat, so I'm going to add a bit of bump to them, and I think that looks good now. And little tip, if you want to render in certain areas, zoom in like this here, and I'm going to render the image just by clicking update here, refresh, and it'll re-render pretty quick. See, what does it say? A few seconds. And now I'm going to render these buttons here. They look too white, and the kettle handle looks a bit dull. You could do changing the green in it, but let's do that. It looks a bit, I'm going to make it dark. Dark handle like that. I'm going to do that. And let's change the stainless steel knobs. See here, they're white. Looks alright white, but maybe I should make those yeah, let's make a wee bit of shine on them. We'd actually make them really dark, but with a bit of shine. Like that. Maybe let's go to about there. More reflectance. Come down. That looks class there. Okay, I'm going to go with that. And again, they're going to be at a distance. Here we've got, if I switch this off, we've got these here. They look like this when I brought it into Sketchup. Very boring, dead, flat metal. So now I'm going to add some reflectance. And I'm going to add fong to it. Makes it really kind of metallic. Like that. So I'll apply that. And I'm going to change the work surface here. This looks a bit bland. So look at that now. See, it looks nice and glassy. Click apply. And let's have a look at what we got. So I'm going to do with sorting these knobs out to look a bit cheap. If you put in some nice stainless steel handles there, that would look class. Maybe I will change these to stainless steel. Okay, well, I think they need to be chrome, so let's bring them down and add a bit of reflectance to them. Let's see, hold on. That doesn't need to be there. Oh. Okay, let's leave that. So come back to about here. And let's render the whole scene and see what we get. Now that's much better than the orange doors. The cream and the table kind of match, and the red, it's not too bad. It goes pretty okay. You can see the depth on the tiles now. If you looked at it originally, it was very bland. Got stainless steel knobs on the door rather than the wooden ones. It would actually look better if the knobs were put on a bit better. Let's see if I can quickly adjust that. Can I do that? Let's see if I can scale that. Just save it there. I think I've okay, so the scale, make it a wee bit bigger, like that. And because I made them bigger to put them out of position, so we'll just move that over to here, and let's see what that looks like. I think that looks better. I don't want to spend too much time working on the model, so we'll just do a little bit of okay. I'm moving up a little bit. Let's go 20 mil, 10 mil. Okay, it looks a little bit better anyway. And I think it needs to be just in there a little bit more, these two. Okay. And let's go and render that again. The knobs might look a little bit better this time. See that? Now watch the knobs change. Oops, I stopped it. I should just press refresh. Okay, it's re-exporting all the textures again. So it's going to take about 20 seconds or so. But anyway, at least you know what happens. We'll let that run. And that should be our image finish. Now, if you want to learn more about this plugin, there's lots of things you can do to improve even this here. But as you can see, you can work on the flowers, the plants, the floor, add a wee bit of sheen to the floor. Just say we add a wee bit to the floor here. Add a bit of reflectance to the floor, see there. Click apply. Come back to here, click refresh. We could add a bit of material to these chairs. We can darken the legs of the chairs. We could tick off, see this sharp edge on the window here. You could put a doorway here, you could put a picture on the wall. You could really spruce this up. Just spend a bit more time on it. And it's starting to take shape now. That's only rendering what, not even what's 80 seconds, a minute and 20 seconds. And not only that, but I restarted it in the middle, so it's not even a minute and a half. So the longer you let this render, the better it'll get. So I'm going to stop the video there, and if you need any more information, as I say, I wanted to go into more depth and show you how to make a better geometry, better textures, to get a better overall model in the end. So let's let it run up to 32 iterations. I'll stop it, and then we'll export the image just to show how it's done. So we're at 25 there. Okay. Now I've added a wee bit of shine to these bowls. The knobs might be too big now, but you know how to do it. You SketchUp guys out there. Okay, 32, let's stop it and save the image. And now I can save the image here to render. Let's save it to desktop. Where's desktop? Never find it. Save it. Come out of there. Come out of there. Open up desktop. And there's our image rendered up. It's not fully rendered. You see the floor needs a bit more time. And there's lots of other things to do to learn to take out the shadows, let it render a bit more. So probably hints and tips to learn to get a really, really realistic image. Now I've tried loads of plugins and I cannot find anything that's anywhere near as quick and as easy to use. And I use it professionally for magazines. So there we have it, folks. Where's the SketchUp model? I just wanted to show you one other thing. You can add in PBR materials. So you've got a texture that you want to add in. Here's a couple of sites you can download textures from. This one here, CCO, you can go in there, find the texture and download it and install that in, and it will come into your model, and you can render it in a good high quality. These textures in this model, I don't know where they come from, except for no, they're all here. I just made them look more realistic on the curtains. So much you can do. You can add a skirt in here, but we can go on and on with the video. Hope you enjoyed it. Please comment and like the video, and if there's anything in particular you want to know, put it in the comments. Thanks for watching.